Hey guys, welcome back to Concordia Jedi. We're doing something here that I haven't done in a little while. It's another lightsaber video. Today, we have the Black Series Elite Darth Sidious Force FX lightsaber. I've always loved Darth Sidious lightsaber. I can't afford any of these screen-accurate replicas that are very, very expensive. So, until that day comes, I have one of these. So, these are the Black Series Elite line of lightsabers. So, unlike standard Black Series lightsabers, the blade is removable, comes with a different blade plug, which I do not have for this one, for when the blade is not inserted into the hilt. Let's just take a look at the hilt as is. It's definitely bigger than the actual prop used in the movie, which I believe was probably about half this size, if that. But it is still really nice, and I understand why it's a little bit bigger to hold the electronics. Just from a design point of view, I've always loved Darth Sidious' lightsaber. You know, I remember when Revenge of the Sith, before it came out, and they were showing, you know, all these promo pictures in newspapers, and they were showing, you know, Sidious. I was wondering, like, oh, what's his lightsaber gonna look like? It's gonna be like black with like thorns, or like just it's gonna look like something Sauron created, something super evil looking. But no, it's actually a very beautiful and exquisite lightsaber that kind of looks like a penis, but we're not gonna focus on that. It is a very nice looking lightsaber. I love you got the silver, you got the bright gold, but then you've got this beautiful rose gold color, which is something I like about this lightsaber that the Disney Parks Legacy lightsaber Sidious doesn't have, is this nice rose gold color. At least when I was there and I got to see it, it didn't. And I believe that one was actually even bigger. Like, it felt weird. And not just because it looks like a penis. But again, we're not focusing on that. So, it has two switches. The Elite Black Series have two switches typically. So you have the activation switch right here, the green, when there's no blade inserted. Just makes this noise. No real purpose, but it's kind of fun. And then the auxiliary switch right here, that when you hold down has tip drag, and if you tap it, blaster deflection. And there's another interesting feature on the Sidious one, where if you hold this down, the blade will turn purple and start flickering like you're shooting out force lightning, like the Emperor. So, why don't we take this off? The top unscrews like this. You can see down in there the pins. Have the blade right here. You want to line it up. There's two little notches on either side, one big, one small. You want to line it up big to big, small to small. Once it's in, give it a twist. Carefully slide the emitter back on, and you're ready to go. It's pretty nice. There's that blaster deflection, the tip drag. And then the force lightning. And something nice about the Elite series, they do have flash on clash. Only downside, I think, to the saber, outside of it being pretty quiet, I don't know if you can hear that too well, there is some wobble to the blade. I don't feel like it's going to go flying out if I'm swinging it. Then again, I'm not really going too crazy with this saber anyway. But it is noticeable. And so if I'm doing this, kind of wiggles a little bit. Don't like that. But we're going to take a look at this in the dark, if I can. Give me one moment. Don't slide off. We are now in the dark. We're going to turn it back on. Sensitivity's pretty good. I've held worse Black Series sabers. Yeah, and that Force Lightning really shows up nicely. That purple. Wow, that. So now we're going to compare this with a standard Black Series lightsaber. I have here a Mace Windu Black Series lightsaber. And if you turn it on, you'll notice it has more of a scroll effect. It kind of blinks on in sections. Whereas it's much smoother because there's more LEDs in the blade on the Elite series. It's a much smoother ignition. Now this is a lot louder, so I appreciate that. There's no wobble to the blade at all, but the downside, you can't remove the blade on this one. Let's compare the purples. A little bit more of a indigo, more of a bluish purple to this one. This one's more of a magenta. This one, no flash on clash with standard Black Series. Now, these are nice. They're nice pieces to have, especially if you're not going around dueling or doing any heavy action with them. But I will compare those to the highest end saber that I own. This is an 89 Sabers Obi-Wan Kenobi A New Hope, without the weathering, and it's running a Profi bore. Don't ask me which one, I bought it used. And well, let's take a look. That is bright. Let me turn down the blue a little bit. It's nice color changing. Can go from purple to blue to a little bit of a lighter blue. Go to a kind of a icy blue into more of a viridian, a lime green, yellow, green. Got that yellow, that gold, that orange, that red, magenta, and back to purple, and back to blue. I'm just gonna turn it to a lighter shade of blue so it doesn't wash out my face. So with this, you've got more options. It's still got the blaster deflection. It's got blade lockup. Plays music. Plays voice lines.
Sith Lords are our specialty.
And it's got different sound fonts and colors.
Something inside me has always been there, but now it's awake.
We got the Last Jedi Rey Graflex font. I like the flicker on this one. Might have to tweak with the sound settings a little bit, because it seems like on certain sound fonts there's a little bit of a staticky sound from the speaker, but
if you will not turn to the dark side, then perhaps she will.
Switch over to Luke, Return of the Jedi. Very nice green. Did I say Last Jedi? I meant Return of the Jedi.
Rey Skywalker.
The Rey Skywalker lightsaber from Rise of Skywalker. Really nice ignition there. And Darth Sidious font.
The Senate is full of greedy, squabbling elegance.
So, this is a good time to compare Sidious sound font to official Disney Sidious merchandise. So, the ignition sound on the Elite Black Series lightsaber, just a standard lightsaber ignition. It's not Sithy, it's not Sidious, it's just... But on the Sidious sound font on my saber, why don't we compare the reds? It's a nice shade. It's pretty bright. It's brighter than other Black Series Sith lightsabers like Vader or Kylo, Dooku. But on here, you can just see the differences night and day. And then, of course, you have, shows you how much battery power you have.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Back to Obi-Wan.
I will do what I must.
Really nice saber. I really like the saber. I'm going to turn the lights back on. So, then the question comes down to, is this worth buying? And my answer is always, it depends on what you're looking for. It depends on your budget. It depends on, do you like the design? What do you prioritize in a saber? Me personally, I don't have too high of a bar for my sabers. I'd like them to be fairly loud. I like them to function and be bright. That's pretty much all I look for, and a price that's not going to bankrupt me. And for this, I mean, I'll full disclosure, I got this used, so I didn't pay nearly as much as it normally is. But I would say, if you are looking for just a display piece, something nice that you can kind of, ooh, look at me, ultimate power, that kind of stuff, it's pretty cool. I do like this. I'm glad I got it. I like that it has a removable blade, and when the blade is out, it makes a nice display piece. Am I going to duel with this? No. Is this the brightest or loudest saber I've ever owned? Not even close. But it's nice to have. I'm glad that I have it. It's definitely one of the shiniest sabers, and it's one of those sabers that you see it in a lineup of other lightsabers, it's immediately going to catch someone's eye with the beautiful gold and the red and green buttons. So, me personally, I'd say, if this looks like a saber that's appealing to you, yeah, I think you're going to like it. I certainly do. If the removable blade is not something you're into and you don't really care about the brightness or the sound and you just want a decent saber, you're probably better off going with a standard Black Series. These will typically run you new about $130, $150. Again, I got this one used. So you don't get the removable blade. Depending on the color, it may not be as bright. More limited features, no blaster deflection, no, just standard clashes and swings. But still pretty nice if you just want to have a lightsaber for your collection as a Star Wars fan. However, if you have money to spend and you want something nice that you can display and swing around a little without too much fear, go with a custom saber. Now, I paid this off in chunks. I didn't go all out with all the bells and whistles all at once. This was a process getting this because I didn't want to spend all of that money all at once. Money is definitely, for me, when it comes to sabers, the biggest question. How much is this going to cost me? Is it worth the price? And for this, I'm happy I got it. This feels like a lightsaber. I'm really happy I have this. But again, it's all depending on your preferences, your budget, whatever. So, if you like this saber, I say go for it if you want to get it. So, we'll call this video here. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe for more content in the future. May the Force be with you.